Including an update to an overnight shooting. One person has now died from their injuries, what police say was happening before those shots rang out.
And big news for those of you who need insulin. The price of that is now dropping. We will tell you how much it's dropping by in less than 5 minutes.
And the Storm Prediction Center just updated tomorrow's forecast to include more of South Texas and a risk for some strong storms. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Live from KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
Gunfire that ended an argument in a West Side neighborhood has also ended a man's life.
San Antonio police say one of the two men shot during the dispute overnight has died. As Katrina Weber reports, police say they know who the shooter is. They just need to find him.
Gunshots are what brought San Antonio police to the 100 block of North San Ignacio Street in the middle of the night. The investigation is what kept them there into the morning. They say two men were shot multiple times shortly before 4 a.m. They were among a group of four who police say were hanging out together in the driveway of a vacant home. Police say at some point during the gathering here, things went south, with one man pulling out a gun and shooting at the others. The two men who were shot, 27 and 28 years old, were rushed to a hospital. The 28-year-old later died. Police say the shooter took off in a tan or brown SUV. Although investigators searched the neighborhood, they did not find him right away. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
In the courtroom today, jury deliberations began in the trial related to a deadly shooting in a West Side motel parking lot. Leopoldo Mora, accused of killing Kenneth Salazar in 2021. We just have received word that verdict is in and he has been found guilty. Yesterday, the lead detective testified in that case and took the stand. The investigation he was talking about the surveillance footage and how that was a key. Once again, Mora has been found guilty. He could be facing up to life in prison.
San Antonio police are investigating who fired nearly 70 bullets during a drive-by shooting near North Walters and Burnett. That's just east of downtown. The targets were two men in their 30s. SAPD says one man died and the other is in the hospital. Police say they don't know what the motive might have been, but it's clear that it was targeted. They say the two men were standing in front of the food mart when suspects in a white sedan pulled up and started shooting. One nearby resident asked to stay anonymous, but said a bullet hit her truck. That's when she and her child took cover.
No, you can't have them be outside playing, and you just always have to be a lookout. And once you hear something, you have to have that natural instinct to grab them. It's too close to home. It was literally so close that our living room walls were shaking.
We asked SAPD Chief William McManus about the shootings in the area. He's not sure any neighborhood is immune to the rise in crime, but he says risky behavior is usually to blame.
And now to a day of advocacy and a demand for change. Gun violence survivors and those supporting a change in gun laws met in Austin yesterday, all in hopes of changing the minds of lawmakers. They are calling for gun reform, including stronger red flag laws and raising the age to buy certain firearms. Several state lawmakers joined families from Uvalde and Santa Fe to rally outside the Capitol. A Robb Elementary School teacher who was shot on May 24th shared his own plea for lawmakers with the crowd.
I come here today to let the governor know that expanding guns into schools will not make it safer. Teachers do not support this as an adequate solution to prevent gun violence.
Now, those in attendance held meetings with lawmakers. Governor Greg Abbott was not included in those meetings. We have contacted his office about the rally, but have yet to hear back.
Big news for those diagnosed with diabetes. Pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly says it's cutting the price of its insulin products. It will now cap the out-of-pocket cost at $35. And starting on May 1st, Eli Lilly is also reducing the list of its non-branded insulin to $25 a vial. Right now, it's listed at $82. Although insulin is relatively inexpensive to make, the cost has been rising for years, and so has the demand for the drug. According to the CDC, 37 million adults in the U.S. are diabetic. And ever wonder how the Riverwalk stays so clean? What goes into the beautification of one of the top attractions in San Antonio? Max Massey takes us on the ecology sweeper barge named Lady Echo and gives us an inside look.
Meet Lady Echo. You usually see her going up and down the Riverwalk, keeping our city clean.
It's a large urban ecosystem. As you can see, there's lots of trees and vegetation. Those trees shed their leaves. There's human-made debris as well. So each day we take our Lady Echo cleaning barge out twice a day to sweep the river to collect all of that debris.
Lady Echo is one of a kind. She cleans up more than 115 tons of debris every year, just by going around this 3.2-mile loop.
It has pneumatic arms that stretch out on each side, 2 of them, and then there are nets attached to each arm that collect the floating debris. We also use nets, kind of like a pool net almost, to scoop up anything that it misses.
And Lady Echo is just part of the team. More than 25 people committed to keeping this area and our ecosystem clean. That includes collecting, power washing, and landscaping.
Whether it's Leo and his team on Lady Echo or any of the members of the team keeping the Riverwalk clean, it is so important for our local San Antonio economy.
Well, the Riverwalk is one of the top 5 tourist attractions in the state of Texas, so it's very important to us that it looks beautiful and that it's a welcoming place for our residents and for our visitors. So our staff works really hard to keep the river itself and the surrounding area and downtown looking great.
Leo here is at the helm of Lady Echo, but it truly takes a team to keep our river going.
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work to keep this Riverwalk looking beautiful. So next time you come down and enjoy yourself with your friends or visitors, just take a look and you might even see us, hard at work keeping the Riverwalk beautiful.
Max Massey, KSAT12 News.
That's why it always looks so beautiful down there.
Lady Echo.
The Spurs, speaking of beautiful, ended their rodeo road trip with a win. The players who helped them break that losing streak. Coming up.
A deadly train crash in Greece leaves dozens dead, and now one person has been arrested. Who that is after the break. A head-on train collision in Greece leaves at least 36 dead and 85 people injured. Multiple cars derailed in the overnight crash, and some burst into flames.
Now, police in Greece say a station master is under arrest. ABC's Lindsay Watts has the latest from Washington.
Officials in Greece continue to comb through wreckage of this deadly head-on train crash. Overnight, a freight train collided with a passenger train near Tempe, north of Athens. About 350 people were aboard the passenger train, and we've learned many were students returning from the country's carnival celebrations. This passenger narrowly escaped. A fire had erupted next to us. This man here, he saw a hole, so we managed to get out from where we were. Greek police say a station master has been arrested. The government declaring 3 days of national mourning, the prime minister visiting the crash scene and vowing to find the causes of this tragedy and ensure it never happens again. Emergency responders now using cranes and heavy equipment to move the mangled rail cars. Dozens of people remain hospitalized, including some with critical injuries. Passenger Sturgis Menenis describing the crash. There was panic for 10, 15 seconds. It was chaos. People screaming, people trapped. The station master who was arrested hasn't been identified yet. The Greek transportation minister has also resigned over this crash. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Outside with live cam, a little cloudy, still warm though, and changes, they are on the way.
But I can verify it is humid today because the curls did not stay this morning.
So humid. It is sticky out there. We've got a lot of humidity. That goes away tomorrow. Temperature's also warm. Now that the sun's starting to pop out, we're jumping into the upper 70s and low 80s. It will be a warm afternoon for sure. Aquifer still falling, down 0.3 foot to 636 even. In your pollen count, there it is. Oak season now underway. Oak in the moderate category today. It's at 140. Molds low, mulberry, hackberry, ash, elm, all low, but a lot of tree pollen out there. We're watching a system tomorrow could bring a few strong storms to the area. We've got the latest coming up.
Dozens of residents temporarily displaced after their apartment building caught on fire overnight just north of downtown. Alyssa Cole has an update on where the residents are now and how that fire got started.
Just before midnight on Wednesday, first responders moved quickly to rescue nearly 20 senior residents from this 4-story Opportunity Home San Antonio building, bringing each person down a ladder one at a time, including a 98-year-old woman.
A lot of times for us, it's very dangerous for us to take someone off a ladder because you have to calm them down. From my understanding, this 90-year-old lady, she was very calm coming down those stairs.
According to initial firefighter reports, the fire started on a mattress in a bedroom on the 3rd floor, and it wasn't before long the building was filled with smoke. This pushed leaders to take action fast by sounding off a 3rd alarm.
Very heavy smoke conditions, so what that did was force those people out to the balconies so they could get fresh air. They could not go down the hallways to the exits.
With roughly 100 people inside, 46 residents were taken to a hotel overnight because of smoke damage in their apartments. The initial report also says only one apartment unit caught on fire, causing the smoke damage to the entire 3rd floor.
We're going room to room, checking the carbon monoxide so we can make sure that we can try to get people back in.
Opportunity Home leaders say they will remain with the affected residents until they can return back to their apartments. No word yet on when that will be, but if you're interested in donating toiletries for the displaced seniors in need, visit our website for details on where you can drop them off. Alyssa Cole, KSAT12 News.
We are getting ready for some big changes in the weather, maybe even a little bit of rain. Okay. We don't need all the bad stuff. We just need some good stuff.
Well, the heat is here. We feel that.
Yeah, it's spring-like heat. It's very spring-like when it comes to the forecast, too, because we do have an opportunity for some rain tomorrow. It's a small window. There's a chance for a couple strong storms, and we're going to get some gusty winds behind that. So let's jump right in. First, let's go outside. We've got mostly cloudy skies. Sun is starting to shine through there, though. And with that added sun, temperatures are on their way up. 77 right now. Dew point is at 67, so it's awful humid. And the wind about 7 miles per hour there. But we're going to see mostly a southerly wind today that's going to continue to pump in the moisture. Here's a satellite picture. Still got a strip of clouds here holding on. So right along I-35, New Braunfels down to Hondo, still mostly cloudy, but these clouds are starting to break up. And I think by the afternoon will be partly cloudy, if not mostly sunny, which will really help temperatures. Notice the areas that have seen sun for longer today. Places like Pleasanton, where it's been sunny most of the day, 86 there. 86 in Cotulla, 82 Gonzales. You've got 70s in Kerrville and Fredericksburg. And around Bexar County, it's up to 82 at Stinson, a little warmer down there with more sun. Up in Helotes, where it's been cloudier, 74. It's 81 in Seguin and 80 in New Braunfels. 80 is a good bet today for all of us. We'll be around 88 or so, I think, here in San Antonio. There will be some 90s on the map. Places like Pleasanton, Pearsall, Carrizo Springs certainly could jump above that mark today. Not only hot, but also humid. The humidity in these high dew points continue through about late afternoon tomorrow, and then it just falls off a ledge. Our front comes through, dry air pushes in from the west, and this is kind of problem number one, because we're going to get some gusty winds and dry air. That's going to bring a fire threat. But there's more to this. Let me walk you through the forecast. So as we look at 5 o'clock today, not much going on. We've got partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, around midnight, still clouds building in. There could be a shower or storm or two overnight into early tomorrow morning. It would be brief, and I don't think it would put down a lot of rain, but we have brought up rain chances to 30%. Lucky few may get a quick downpour. And if you don't get that, maybe there could be a little bit of drizzle around, so it could be overall just kind of damp tomorrow morning. Then we lose the clouds by midday. Then we look out west. Frontal boundary starts to come in. This is where we could see a few storms beginning to develop along the front. Then as we head into late afternoon, say around 5 o'clock, we've got more storms trying to develop. Now, the best opportunity for storms is going to be north of San Antonio. At 5 o'clock, we've got in a 20% chance. Then by 6 o'clock, storms try to move a little bit closer, but notice we're on the tail end of things. Again, the better opportunity will be up and north along I-35. And this is where, again, in this time frame, we can see a couple strong ones. By 7 o'clock, line starts to build a little bit more as it pushes into our eastern counties. By 8 p.m., starting to move out. And by 9 o'clock, out of our viewing area, we're clearing out. Let's talk about the risk for severe weather. Here in San Antonio, it's isolated, but the Storm Prediction Center just updated this and pushed this scattered line a little bit closer to us. So we know San Antonio points north. There's a little better risk of severe weather tomorrow. Then as we zoom out, you'll notice that it becomes far more widespread. There's going to be a severe weather outbreak tomorrow in northeast Texas. Tyler, Shreveport, Texarkana, these are areas that will get hit pretty hard, I think, by severe weather tomorrow. Again, we're on the tail end of things, but we've got to watch it very closely. Then the other risk, as we talked about on the backside of this, is the fire risk. You see those dark oranges and reds. That's where we have very high to extreme fire risk tomorrow afternoon. This spreads east as we get into Friday with the gusty winds. Let's talk about the winds, because behind that front, this is 9 o'clock tomorrow, we've got gusts 40 to 45, fairly widespread. I think out west we could even see a few gusts to 50 miles per hour. Around San Antonio, I'd say 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. So we got to think about any loose objects in your backyard, the trash can, all these kind of things can blow over in these kind of winds. And that will continue, these kind of winds continue through early Friday before they finally die down. I'd say noontime on Friday. We'll get these winds to relax some, but there will be some pretty big gusts. So as you look at the 7-day forecast, 87 tomorrow, that chance of storms late. Gusty winds Friday morning, 74. And then a beautiful weekend. Sunny skies this weekend, and we're back in the low 80s by early next week.
Thank you. That's my birthday weekend, so I'm excited for that sunshine.
Looks good.
Thanks, Justin.
Well, a lot going on in that 12, 14-hour span. Coming up in sports, we're talking high school basketball. Which team came out on top? It was a battle of the Rattlers. Spurs got tuned up last night for their final ride on the rodeo road trip, but they kept from setting a record when they took on the Jazz in Utah. First quarter, Blake Wesley steals the ball, races back, reverse layup. Ooh, like that. They led 32-30 after 1 second quarter. Doug McDermott breaks off the 7-footer for a 9-point lead, 45-36, their largest lead of the half. San Antonio up 50-48 at halftime. We go to the third quarter. Jazz getting tuned up. Taylor Horton Tucker sees a clear path to the basket off the screen. Slam dunk. Utah up 61-56. Jeremy Sohan then spins. Nice move. Little jumper in the lane. Spurs down 73-71 after 3 fourth quarter. McDermott hits a corner three. In the end, Keldon Johnson recorded 25, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for the Spurs. Jeremy Sohan, 13, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. That helped the Spurs beat the Jazz and close out the game on a 10-1 run. Final score, 102-94. So finally, the Spurs' 16-game losing streak comes to an end, and they improved to 15-47 on the season. So next up for the Spurs, they are back home. Welcome back, San Antonio. They get to play the Indiana Pacers tomorrow night, 7:30, AT&T Center. And the gym at Canyon High School was packed last night to see which Rattler had the more deadly bite. A San Marcos Rattler against a Reagan Rattler. Third round of the UIL Class 6A playoffs. Third quarter, San Marcos pulling away. Caden Gums finds Malik Presley for the alley-oop slam. 38-30. Reagan rallies late in the frame. Senior Luke Price knocks down a 3, cap at a 5-0 run. Reagan heads into the fourth quarter, trailing 40-35, and that's when San Marcos pours it on. Gums hit a long two-pointer, 10-point lead. Then Javen Kofer finds Mateus Perkins for a triple. That's a 9-0 run to start the final quarter. San Marcos is headed to the regional semifinals with a 62-46 victory.
You know, we're one team. We're all real connected. You know, it was one guy hooping, the next guy's going to hoop, and his next man up. We're all pulling for each other. We all had our eyes on the prize, and we stayed together and finished.
San Marcos will face Warren in the regional semifinals on Friday night. On the other side of the Class 6A bracket, Brennan facing Taft at Northside Gym. Late second quarter, Bears pushing the pace. Kingston Flemings drives right to the basket. Let's lay in 23-19. Brennan. Taft takes control, though. Demetrius Mims gets the floater to fall off the glass. Raiders go up by 3. But the Bears too good. Off the miss, Isaiah Ward there for the putback. Brennan advances to the regional semis 73-52. A lot of great action on the court last night, though.
Yeah, I like what he said. Right.
Their losing streak.
Oh.
Ooh, isn't that nice?
Well, we need another win.
Yeah, we can use several more.
All right. Now, coming up in our next half hour, why you could see your CPS energy bill rise over the next year.
And extreme weather continues to hit California, but will it help the mega drought they're in? And we'll find out coming after the break.
It's allergy season, and for a lot of people in South Texas, a day outdoors is a no-go. But what if we told you seasonal allergens might not be the only thing causing your breathing problems? Turns out your stove, mattress, and even your cleaning agents at home might be the issue. Today at 5, Marilyn Moritz explains the different ways you can find relief. It's a 12 on your side report, and it's coming your way on the news at 5.
You might notice your electricity bills going up, and it's no coincidence.
CPS Energy last raised its rates last March, and that's when the company raised the base rate by just under 4%. We're expecting prices to increase next year. Right now, it's unclear by how much.
That's what our teams are doing here in the spring and summer, is sharpening our pencil and being able to have that discussion later in the year.
Last year's base rate hike was to pay for staffing, technology improvements, and infrastructure. They say those reasons could also explain next year's planned increase.
Police still looking for who was involved in what they believe is a home invasion. We are told a man was shot twice in the chest yesterday afternoon at an apartment complex off of Jones-Maltzberger Road. He was taken to the hospital and said to be okay. Police said a witness saw a bag being dropped off by a suspect on the way out. The officer we spoke to says the bag appeared to have drugs inside. No arrests have been made, at least not yet.
San Antonio police need your help tracking down a murder suspect. The victim, Robert Hurley, was found stabbed to death last month. His body was discovered outside of the Sorrento Apartments on Fredericksburg Road. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information about this case. That number is 210-224-STOP.
And right now, the city is planning to rebuild a pedestrian bridge on Castroville Road. This announcement happening after a truck crashed into it, causing it to collapse. It happened last week. The city's Public Works Department says it's working on a schedule for design and construction for the new bridge within the next few weeks. Right now, it's setting up a temporary pedestrian crossing at Castroville Road and Dahlgreen Avenue. That should be up by the middle of March.
Happening tonight, a big party at St. Philip's College celebrating its 125th anniversary. The school was founded back in 1898 as a historically Black and Hispanic serving college. The anniversary celebration starts at 6 p.m. Special guests will be there. There's also going to be a fireworks show.
And now to the latest powerful storm to batter the West Coast, bringing more rain to Los Angeles and several more feet of snow in the higher elevations.
ABC's Matt Gutman is in California as many counties there enter state of emergencies.
That whiteout in California's Sierras, a 6-foot onslaught of snow. The winds at 50 miles per hour. This car finally getting traction as plows make run after run to try to clear the roads. And millions are struggling to dig out. In San Bernardino County, a state of emergency.
You can't even see my house. It's like all the way to the top.
Driving on the snow-slammed roads considered impossible, highways closed to traffic.
This is I-80, one of the most trafficked east-west thoroughfares in the entire country, and it is completely socked in right now, closed to all traffic, with the snow coming down at about a foot an hour.
We surveyed I-80 with the California Highway Patrol.
How important is this section of I-80 in terms of commerce and the movement of goods?
It's very important. There's tons of truck traffic and stuff coming from the port area going up over the hill to Reno. And there's, thousands of trucks a day travel this road.
In Yosemite National Park, as much as 15 feet of snow falling, homes buried up to their chimneys. Crews working to restore critical services. The park closed indefinitely.
Once again, that was Matt Gutman. How would you like to open up your front door and can't even get out because the snow's so high?
No, thank you.
No?
No. I'm good. I'm excited about the heat. It is warming up. I don't know that everyone agrees with me. I think
I'm excited.
We could use maybe a couple more points, but I'm excited.
Spring altogether. Something happened. What happened?
Oh.
You guys get your heat already.
It is starting to kick in. And as we get into March, you're going to notice temperatures, the averages especially, start to get much warmer. So let's take a look at March since we are now officially there. 70 is the average high on March 1st. Today, the average low is 48. By the time we end the month, our average is 77. Our average high and our average low is 55. So we gained 7 degrees in both regards. The record low for the month, 19 set back in 1980 and 2002. The record high is 100 set back in 1991 and 1971. So we can still get a pretty good range of temperatures this month, although I'll tell you, going forward, we're going to be averaging pretty warm over the next week or so, and that goes for today too. 85 at 2 o'clock, 86 at 3 p.m. We'll call it partly cloudy, although the sun really is starting to pop out now. Warm and humid today. That sets the stage for the potential for some stronger storms coming up tomorrow, something we're watching. And as we get into tonight, we add in some small chances of rain too after 10 o'clock. Could see a couple pop-up showers, maybe a downpour here or there, and then we'll await that chance for some stronger storms tomorrow afternoon. More on the timing of that and what we can expect coming up in just a couple minutes.
Still ahead, how many minutes a day it is recommended for you to work out in order to improve your overall health.
Plus, which district is now the latest one to implement the 4-day school week and how they will be able to make it all work.
And electric school buses may be the thing of the future for one local school district. We'll explain after the break.